Dario Argento has created some of the most incredibly shocking and pretty good films that came direct from Italy. Now, I've only reviewed a couple of them and what have you, but I think it's time I did some more of his. And I thought, what better way to do it than with this supernatural film? Here's my review of Dario Argento's Phenomena. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Joel, better known to as the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a review of the 1985 giallo-horror flick Phenomena. Originally released by Titans, produced by DAC Film, directed, co-written, and produced by Dario Argento, starring Jennifer Connelly along with Daria Nicolodi, Dalila Di Lazzaro, Patrick Bauchau, and Donald Pleasence. The film concerns an American girl at a remote Swiss boarding school who discovers she has psychic powers that allow her to communicate with insects and uses them to pursue a serial killer who is butchering young women at and around the school. The film was originally released in Italy in January of 1985. And then in the spring of the following year, it was released in the UK. And let's see, and in August, well, a little over half a year after it was released in the US by New Line Cinema, where it went under an alternative title, Creepers, and it was well butchered and what have you. But don't worry, I've seen the real version of this film. And I gotta say, this is another pretty good film from Mr. Argento. Let's get into the story. After missing a bus in the Swiss countryside, a 14-year-old Danish tourist, Vera Brandt, tries looking for help. She comes across a cottage and is attacked and beheaded by a stranger. 8 months later, her case is being inspected by forensic entomologist John McGregor and police inspector Rudolph Geiger, who note that Brandt is but the first of a series of murders against young girls, including McGregor's former assistant. Meanwhile, Jennifer Covino, the daughter of a famous American actor, arrives at the Swiss Richard Wagner Academy for Girls, chaperoned by Frau Bruckner, who places her with roommate Sophie. While sleepwalking through the academy and out onto the roof, Jennifer witnesses a student being murdered. She awakens and flees into the woods, where McGregor's chimpanzee Inga finds her and leads her to him. Upon noticing the affection his captive insects have to Jennifer, McGregor comes to believe that she has a telepathic link with them. Back at the academy, the headmistress has Jennifer medically tested via EEG for her sleepwalking. The procedure makes Jennifer uneasy when she gets a brief visions of the previous night's events. The following night, the murderer kills Sophie, mistaking her for Jennifer, as she is wearing the same sweater she wore when she witnessed the prior murder. Jennifer sleepwalks again and is led by a firefly to the scene of Sophie's death, where she finds a maggot-infested glove. She shows it to McGregor, who identifies the maggots as the larvae of great sarcophagus flies, which are drawn to decaying human flesh. He theorizes that the killer is a necrophile who has been keeping his victims close to him post-mortem, unintentionally collecting the maggots on himself. Later, when the other students taunt Jennifer over her connection to insects, she summons a swarm of flies that covers the entire building, then faints. Convinced that Jennifer is diabolic and possibly responsible for the killings, the headmistress arranges for her to be transferred to a mental hospital. Jennifer flees to McGregor's home, where the entomologist gives her a glass case with a great sarcophagus fly, suggesting she use it to find the murderer's lair. The fly leads her to the same cottage Brandt had found earlier, and Inspector Geiger talks to the real estate agent in order to learn the identity of the house's previous occupant. That night, McGregor is murdered in his home. With nowhere left to go, Jennifer calls her father, lawyer Morris Shapiro, to take her back to America. He alerts Bruckner, who offers to let the girl stay at her house overnight. Meanwhile, Geiger's investigation leads him to a mental hospital in Bethel, where he learns that a former staff member had been attacked 15 years before by one of the male inmates. Upon arriving at Bruckner's house, Jennifer notices that all the mirrors are covered, with Bruckner explaining that she has a son who cannot stand to see his own reflection. Bruckner insists that Jennifer take pills before she goes to bed. When she does so, she becomes sick and, assuming that the pills are poisonous, coughs them up. She attempts to calm Morris, but is knocked unconscious by Bruckner. Geiger arrives and questions Bruckner, who confirms that she had worked at the Bethel mental hospital and been raped. She leads him to the basement and imprisons him. Okay, now for the final act and the ending. As always, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen the movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. After waking, Jennifer engineers her escape through the basement. There she finds Geiger and falls into a pool filled with maggot-infested corpses. Bruckner taunts Jennifer, but Geiger frees himself and furiously beats Bruckner long enough to let Jennifer escape. Jennifer finds Bruckner's son, who has a hideously deformed face. He chases Jennifer onto a motorboat and tries to kill her with a spear, which perforates the boat's fuel tank and causes a leak. Jennifer summons a swarm of flies that attack the killer, causing him to fall into the water. Jennifer is also forced to jump into the water as the leaking petrol ignites, whereupon the child grabs her, but he is immolated by the flames. Jennifer reaches the shore just as Morris appears. A severely injured and disfigured Bruckner decapitates him from behind with a metal sheet and confesses that she murdered McGregor and Geiger to protect her son. Before she can murder Jennifer, a wrathful Inga attacks Bruckner and kills her with a straight razor in retribution for McGregor's death. With the ordeal over, Jennifer and Inga embrace. End of story. So, what did I think of Phenomena? Well, I'm going to say this is another good masterpiece by Dario Argento. I mean, if it hadn't been for a lot of you um, horror fanatic friends I have become friends with and subscribed to in the YouTube environment, I would have gotten to like some of Argento's work. I mean, I started with Suspiria and then went on to some other films, including this, Inferno, and Deep Red, and well, several others. I need to review Deep Red someday. I will eventually. But I think this was a very good film. Speaking of Suspiria, the score was performed by the progressive rock band Goblin, who of course did the music for Suspiria. And I think that was pretty good too. The film also includes tunes by Iron Maiden as well as Motorhead as well, plus a lot of others. But anyway, I've seen the original version of this film, not the butchered 83-minute version that New Line released. I've seen the original 116-minute run of the film, and it's awesome and really good. Let's see. Its reviews are pretty good, are reasonable. New York Times reviewed the Creepers Cut of the film, finding that it creaks along for its first hour or so, failing to work up any chills, and found the acting poor, writing that the best act is by an expressive, resourceful chimpanzee. Definitely the year's best supporting primate. Yeah, a lot of them just weren't too thrilled with this and what have you. Oh well. And then one review in the Guardian declared that the Creepers Cut said it's Argento at his most throwaway, and that the film paled in comparison to Argento's other films like The Bird with the Crystal Plumage and Suspiria. And commenting on the acting, the review stated that Pleasence does his best with the script, but Jennifer Connelly doesn't even bother to do Belle. Ah. Well, even some have criticized some of the film's special effects and what have you. But then concluded with this is from the Hartford Courant, but said otherwise Argento displays his customary skill at horror chic. He plays old world elegance against horrific sights as electronic scoring and macabre rock songs by Bill Wyman, Iron Man, and others give the film a loud, mad buzz. Yeah, I don't care what anybody says. I thought the film was pretty good. I don't really consider it to be one of the best films Argento's given, but I know he's got some other films that I need to look into. I will eventually. But since I've seen a few already, I am going to say it is pretty good. It was released on VO and Betamax in '86 by Media Home Entertainment. And then its first DVD release was by Anchor Bay, where it used the 110-minute version of the film. Synapse Films released the film on Blu-ray in the US in November 2006, which included both the shorter version called of known as Creepers, as well as the full 116 and 110-minute versions. Arrow Video released it the following year in the UK, including the integral version, the international cut, and the Creepers version. And Arrow's Blu-ray was among the top 10 top selling bits, home video released in the UK on its initial release. Last February, Arrow reissued the film on a 4K UHD Blu-ray format in 3 different limited editions, each featuring alternate artwork. One of the editions, available only through Arrow's online store, features artwork bearing the Creepers title. And in North America, Synapse Films reissued it on 4K UHD here in the US, as I've mentioned. So I think you can find that on physical media pretty easily if you can find it. But the film is available for streaming on various services like Tubi, for example. That's where I found it. And I'm going to say, Phenomena, it's pretty good and what have you. Now, again, I've seen several other films Argento's done, like Suspiria, Deep Red. I think I recall watching The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Yeah, I've seen that one. And forgot to mention one Tenebrae, that was good. I definitely gotta review that one someday. But anyway, Phenomena, it's not too bad. I feel like it's a little underrated in some ways, despite it got dissed when it came to the US. But hey, I can defend this film pretty easily. Now, for our cast, we have Jennifer Connelly as Jennifer Corvino. I must say she looks amazing in this. Daria Nicolodi played Frau Bruckner. She did good. Dalila Di Lazzaro played the head mistress. Patrick Bauchau played Inspector Geiger. And Donald Pleasence played Professor McGregor, who I thought this was a pretty good performance I've seen of his outside of the Halloween franchise. Anywho, so the cast isn't too bad completely. So overall, with everything I've said, the Phenomena isn't too bad. But would I recommend it? I'd say sure, go ahead, give it a watch. I mean, if you are a big fan of Dario Argento's work, then you definitely need to give this a watch, a one-time watch. And if you like it, then go for it. But I'd suggest you watch the 116-minute cut of that film. You won't be disappointed by it. I've never seen the butchered US release called The Creepers, though. I probably won't and what have you, but, well, you get the point. So what did you think of Phenomena? Let me know in the comment section below. If you liked the video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of another film from Mr. Argento, and that's the third installment of the Three Witches. Or should I say Three Mothers? It could be Three Mothers or Three Witches trilogy, whatever they like to call it. And that's Mother of Tears. So if you enjoyed this, check out my reviews of the first 2 installments in that franchise, the only 2 Argento flicks I've reviewed. The upper left-hand corner is my review of Suspiria from '77. The upper right-hand corner is my review of Inferno from 1980. Or if you'd like something else that Argento did, see my review of Dario Argento Presents Demons. in the bottom left hand corner. In the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc. Then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.